Hey everyone, Biff here. Hope you're having a good day or good evening wherever you are in the world. Taking a look at Bitcoin here. Got a template up with a couple of different looks. Um, these are kind of things that I've looked at throughout, historically charting Bitcoin and trying to get some analysis and figuring out when the heck these bottoms are and what's going on right now. Obviously, this has been a crazy couple of months. This is a monthly Bitcoin chart, just with some levels drawn on it. The level that you see right now that seems to be holding its supports the 20K top from December of 2017. Nothing below that line has been retested so far, so let's just keep things simple. This next indicator below here is it's called a VIX fix, but it's one of Chris Moody's indicators. You can go out and take a look at it on TradingView if you want. It's a good indicator with extreme volatility, and kind of shows, if you look at this 2017 2020 cycle, kind of shows where there may be some bottom formation based on extreme volatility. But again, remember, it also showed kind of that move right here. So is this just a larger scale of this kind of price action? It very well could be, right? So if you kind of like zoomed in on this, it could look like this, right? Now it's a little bit different, this formation with this double top, but considering what was going on in these markets, the amount of money that was dumped on it, all at the same time, leverage and everything else, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Bitcoin makes history all the time doing things, so we're just gonna have to kind of take what we get. The third indicator is something that very few people use, and it's actually very effective when trying to figure out things like hash rate in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is run on a mining network, proof of work. Every transaction goes to the blockchain. The hash is produced by miners, right? So these are physical machines using electricity to process transactions. The hash rate is the amount of mining power or hashing power that the entire network has, and that is actually what's being displayed here on the bottom. So you can see it's been a consistent rise up in hashing power this entire run up, including this bear market of now, if we want to call it that, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 months, right? Wow, that's a long time when you look at it like that. So we're basically in our 10th month of a downward trend. So the question is it over? Well, anytime that we've been looking at stuff like this, and you're looking at a downward trend, you can draw one simple line there and say, maybe we're not done, right? Maybe there's still a couple of months here that we need to hash things out. If it breaks that line and, we start partying on, great. But, historically, this could take another few months to kind of work itself out. Remember, all of this is unprecedented. So when we're looking at this hash indicator, this is a very interesting indicator. And again, if you want to look at it, it's called Hash Ribbons. These guys are amazing. Capriol Investments, Charles Edwards, the gentleman that made this chart, and basically what it's looking at is miner capitulation. So when miners start accumulating Bitcoin, on a downward kind of slope like we've been here, eventually, right, some of them will run out of money. The costs will exceed, the amount of Bitcoin they can mine and or generate at a profit. Sometimes they can take weeks, sometimes they can take months, sometimes they can take years in the last cycle we saw. So from, a standpoint of, well, when this cycle, are we looking at something like this, or is it going to be more like here and then continue on? That's what we're going to have to continue to watch. Now, this indicator hasn't quite flipped over yet, but you can see it's red, and it has been for the last several months. So that's kind of the beginning of some capitulation activity. So what's interesting, though, is the hash rate is not going down. So that would lead me to believe that, miners would be capitulating into larger entities, which is kind of a pattern that we've been watching on Bitcoin throughout this entire 10 months, right? Larger entities scooping up Bitcoin. So that's no surprise. So what does this mean exactly? What they're talking about capitulation is basically, a miner or a mining operation folding and or removing equipment off the network. Maybe their costs exceed what they can afford for a long period of time, and or they just have to exit the business, exit the market. That's capitulation, right? And that's when you normally would start to see hash rate actually deteriorate, which is, something that hasn't happened. Bitcoin hash rate has only been increasing in strength and power and resilience throughout this entire run. So again, unprecedented times. Are we convinced that this is the absolute bottom? No, absolutely not. Is it a bottom? Yeah, sure, certainly it is. Right, there's been some buying here. It's nice to see a green candle after 3 months of red. But again, until we start, clearing these support resistance lines, until we, actually hold support for a length of period of time and or start building new support on these current resistance levels around 30K, even at 28 now, we're still in a downward trend. And we'll be watching this, of course, in the STAXX.CLUB, and I will be watching everything as we always do in the markets, but hash ribbons especially. This is just a really cool visualization that not many people use, and it's something that again, we learned about just from experience. So if you have any questions about hashing, mining on these networks, especially Bitcoin, because that's the biggest one in the world. It's the biggest, most decentralized network in the entire planet. It's the largest computer system in the entire world. And it's really remarkable for a lot of different reasons. And, it is being industrialized in some ways, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be educated, appreciate what it is, understand it. If you want to use it as a savings vehicle, great. There's no reason to be uneducated about Bitcoin. And if we can help you do some trading or kind of get ahead of things, remember, Bitcoin is still the king. It runs the show. And this is, the gravity that basically everything revolves around in crypto. You can say what you want about Ethereum and NFTs and, a lot of other things that still revolve around it. And, maybe some of that might be gaining some traction on Bitcoin. But again, Bitcoin is the OG. It still runs the show. And until, its market cap is flipped, it will hold that title. So just remember that. Again, if you have any questions about mining, hashing power, hash ribbons, what we just kind of talked about here with miner capitulation, what that actually means, and or, what this VIX fix, just look at, if you want to Google VIX, VIX, that's consistent throughout all markets. So the things that we try to share and teach, and we'll do videos on, are things that really anyone can go open a free TradingView account and go take a look at. Guys, appreciate you watching this video. Good luck out there with your trading. If you're looking to stack up some Bitcoin and your dollar cost averaging, do it. Every week, that's what I do. It's no secret. So take care of yourselves. I hope you have a great day, great evening, and stay stacksy.